Welcome to the Utah Puck Report. I'm your host, Jay Stevens. It's been a few years, but a while ago I reached out because I saw some really cool tournaments going on, and I wanted to be a part of it. And I wanted to know more about it. So I reached out to my friend Nick Fleehart, who started the Beer League player. Tell me what it is, Beer League
Players
Players Association,
Association. Yeah.
and it's a bunch of tournaments, right? You and remind me if I'm not correct. You weren't really a hockey player growing up, right?
Yeah, no, I'm from Oklahoma originally and didn't start playing till I was 30 because I married a Canadian. She made me do it. And just fell in love with the sport and, did a lot of stuff in Oklahoma. Then she got tired of tornadoes and moved me to Calgary, Alberta, where she's from, up in the old Canadian Rockies. And yeah, just kind of caught on with some hockey stuff and then had a kind of a vision of what I wanted to do with myself within the hockey sphere, and that's kind of where BLPA was created. And we've been going to 2019, and we hit 28,000 plus players in our group, and we travel all around the world. We do tournaments, but we also have tours where we go and play local teams. And kind of explore the different hockey culture and the different locations. We have a 501c3 charity now that just started here actually first of this year. So we just kind of connecting the world with sport and making it a better place through the sport is what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you glazed over a couple things there. Tell me, you talk about the tours that you do, and I saw one of them, and I looked at it to see if it lined up. Like you're going other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about where you've been.
Well, through kind of our draft, which is not the tour. I mean, we've been to Iceland and we've been to Tokyo to do those. We're going back to Iceland in May to do a draft. But in terms of the tours, I kind of felt like people were coming to play hockey, and husbands were getting flack from their wives, or wives were getting flack from their husbands or their significant other or whatever. And I just kind of was like, you know what, these people want to come play hockey, but they can't bring their family because who of their significant others just want to sit in a hockey rink all weekend? So I was like, how can we make everybody happy? Because that's what I want to do. I want to make everybody happy. I know it's impossible, but I doesn't mean I don't try. And so basically I was like, well, let's plan a tour where we go and we'll experience local hockey culture. So we'll take a team, we'll schedule a few games, but then we'll also schedule all the tours, all the travel around. And our first one was in Italy in October, and it was incredible. We actually leave for Scandinavia in 2 weeks now, I think just a little under 2 weeks, to go over there for 10 days. We're going to go to Oslo, Gothenburg, Sweden, Malmo, Sweden, and Copenhagen, Denmark. And so we're just super, super stoked to be able to do that stuff. And, not only, to do the tours and the hockey, but just kind of meet those people and kind of, once you do a trip like that, you're basically family, right, for life, because you're going to fight, you're going to get mad at each other because you're in such close quarters, but those experiences and that stuff is kind of what builds people together. And that's kind of our whole thing.
Well, it's funny. One of my best friends, a guy named Brandon Maddock, he and his wife they travel all the time, and they always come home, and his wife Charmin's gone out and made friends, and then they have these friends that they just get together with. They'll come stay here in Utah, and it's just some random person they met because they were on the same cruise or in the same cabana or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, you're right. You really do make lifelong friends. Um, the draft stuff is going incredibly well, and it seems like it's a ton of fun. And I'm trying not to make this like I know you guys are coming to Utah, and I wanted to have you back on the show, and I'm trying not to make this like an infomercial and just sell all your products, but like I'm excited about what you've got going on. I actually looked up the dates. This is the first time that you're playing somewhere that I'm like I can be well, obviously I'm already here, and then
Yeah.
also I'm not working.
Oh, perfect.
So like this it's the first time that I'm actually so I'm gonna get signed up. So tell us for somebody that doesn't know what a beer league players association draft tournament is about, can you step us through it and why it's different and how much fun you guys have?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely can. But first, I mean, so it's not so infomercial. People will say, "Well, you've been doing BLPA for so long. What's taking you so long to get out to Utah?" And let's not forget, I've wanted to go to Utah for a long time. But last time I was on your show, you got me in trouble
Really?
because I mean, there was that whole issue with the rink and not shaking hands,
Oh yeah,
and
I got in trouble for that too.
yeah,
I got
and
kicked
so
out of that
basically,
rink.
yeah, I was actually talking with that rink about doing something, and then the guy just kind of just kind of bailed on me after the podcast, and I kind of said like I wasn't. I wasn't agreeing or anything with anything. I was just talking about my life in beer league. And so it's taken me a while to get back, but I finally did it. And here is the thing: if you love hockey and you love the hockey lifestyle, whether it's drinking beer or not, I know we're Beer League Players Association, but you don't have to drink. But if you just like meeting like-minded individuals that just want to come have a good time for a weekend, because you're tired of all the in the leagues, where people just want to come in tournaments and fight you and do that. This is what the tournament was made for. You don't have to deal with any of that. Ringers don't got to deal with that either. You know why? Because in the draft, the way it's styled, every team is going to have a beginner, a ringer, and a mix in between. And at the end of the day, it's not really about winning. You make a championship game no matter what. You can go 0-4 and still make a championship game. And it's really, like I said, it's about hockey in its truest form. Just getting out, enjoying the group, enjoying the game, enjoying a cold beverages, whether it's soda, beer, or ice water, and just really having a weekend where you can just enjoy what's going on around you with really cool people.
So you don't have to know anybody. You can just sign up and be like, "Hey, I'm just an individual player and I want to be in this tournament." And you're golden. You get the invites, and you guys typically find a place to hang out,
Yep.
right? Like before and after. So you'll have the draft, and that's
Yep.
typically at a bar or something like that. And then you guys hang out like between games, after games.
Well, the games are all consecutively ran. So we're at the
Oh,
rink all day together. So that's why people say, well, I want to play with my friend. Well, cool. I get it. It kind of defeats the purpose of the draft.
yeah.
We're not saying you can't play with your friends. What we're saying, if something happens and you get drafted on a different team, we're going to be at the rink all day together anyway. So what's the big deal, right? So you can either play with your friend or play against your friend. You know what? I like beating my friends a lot of the time, so I can have bragging rights. So it makes it a cool scene. And you know, it's been very rare that I've met someone that came to our draft and then said, I had a horrible time. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've met one goalie, but goalies are weird. So we can't really
Oh,
even count. Can't really
yeah.
even count goalies. No offense, goalies. I love you. But, other than that, I mean, it's really just, do you love hockey? Do you like other people that love hockey? And do you want to have a great weekend? And if you can answer yes to 2 out of 3 of those questions, then, this is the tournament for you.
All right. So when is it coming to Salt Lake?
So it's coming mid-May. I'll give you the exact date here. It's May 16th or 18th.
Okay. So we got
We
time.
Yeah, we're playing. Let's see, I got the rink right here. We're playing at the SLC Sports Complex.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And so the draft is going to be on Friday night. We haven't picked a bar yet, mainly because here's the deal. Our tournaments are usually 4, 6, or 8 teams. We don't do many 8-teamers just because the logistics of it are really hard. But the 6 teams are kind of our biggest one. There's been very few cities where it started at 6 teams. Salt Lake City has a chance. Like here's the ones that start, even our biggest tournaments now. Philly didn't start as a 6-team tournament. Boston didn't start as a 6-team tournament. Reykjavik, Iceland did start as a 6-team tournament, and that's probably the only one. So I think we have an opportunity to get Salt Lake City really on the beer league hockey map for adult hockey players and say, hey, we put in this 6-team tournament. It's one of the few ones that BLPA has done that started at 6 teams. And like right now, I think we need 66 players to get to 6 teams. And right now we're at 38 or so pre-registered and registered in. We already have 6 goalies. So really we just need to get them listen, if it's a tournament where goalies are willing to pay full price to play, something right's happening.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you already have 6 goalies, I guess I'm out.
Well, a couple of them are my buddies, and so I know they play both, so we can always talk to them. Is it Chris Lazar?
Oh,
He's
yeah. I
he's
know
yeah,
Chris.
he's a guy that's in. Nick Lill's going to jump in. Some guys that have been kind of helping me around the Utah hockey scene, and so we already have a theme for the tournament. Usually the themes take a while, but we're doing teams that the NHL should have chosen for their team. So first jersey is the Yetis. Obviously, they
Okay.
mix the Yetis, and so we'll have some more releases. But I'm super stoked to be there. One, because Utah is a rad city. Like Salt Lake City is just a rad town in general. Two, it's only a 2-hour flight direct from me, which is very rare to get a direct flight from Calgary anywhere. So super stoked about that.
Yeah, and that's one of the parts we didn't really talk about is how much fun your jerseys are. And you and I had mentioned a little bit about that they're going to be, based on what Utah Hockey Club could have been called. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the jerseys more and more around the rinks. You can tell somebody that's gone out and obviously with Chris and some of the other guys that have gone out, been in your tournaments and then come back. And then, you know, and I play in Vegas all the time, and Vegas, same thing. You start seeing those jerseys, and you've done some really fun jerseys. I think that's a lot of the fun of it. It just sounds like a great time if you're, excuse me, if you're you know, like an old guy like me. You go to the tournaments and it's fun, like, but I don't end up spending a lot of time or hanging out with any of the players except for during the armed forces tournament. But all
Yeah.
the rest of the tournaments, you just go and you go do Vegas by yourself or with, you know, I take my wife. But this just sounds like a lot of fun. This just sounds like going out, like you said, a lot of like-minded individuals going out and having a good time and playing. And I mentioned today, there's a couple other podcasts that I communicate with all the time. And I said, hey, I'm going to have Nick on the show today. And everybody's like, it's coming to Utah. So like, we're excited. We're all signing up. So it's going to be a good time. So besides Yeti, drop one more. Tell us one more. Or
Well,
is it too
okay.
big of a deal?
No, it's not. It's not too big of a deal. I mean, there's one that we want to kind of keep under wraps just so we don't get in trouble.
Okay.
So I'll kind of let you use your imagination on that one with what goes on in Utah. But there's, I mean, I think Mammoth is definitely going to be in there for sure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm not a big out. I think they're going to choose the Outlaws, which is going to be a letdown. I think. But you know, so we have a cool outlaw idea going. So there's two more, and then the one that we could get in trouble for that we won't release until right before, so the rink can't take away our ice.
All right. Nice. I'll tell you that. Well, and that's one thing. I'm really surprised that you're playing out of Steiner, but that's better because you're right, basically downtown.
Yeah,
And
I know there's other and there's other tournaments there, you know, similar styled tournaments, and that's what everyone's saying. Well, like you're coming a month after him, and I say cool. I mean that you know that tournament, you know, the guy used to be involved with us, and I had to kind of buy him out just because of different visions. But you know, people say, well, why the BLPA? Well, why should we do yours instead of? And I mean, there's not. It's really your taste, right? And what I'll tell people is, we're backed by the largest adult hockey community in the world. We have 28,000 players in our group right now. Already signed up. We have player from Alberta, obviously me, British Columbia, Ontario, South Carolina, Texas, New York, Ohio, Alaska, Nevada, Nebraska, Maryland, Idaho, Arizona, and of course Utah. And so I think, you know, I really want to get more local Utah people in because that's where the flavor comes. I want you to showcase your own hometown. I want you to show us why Utah is such a cool town, not only by signing up, but then all these people that are traveling in, we go, you show us the local bars. You show us what a local gets into in Utah. And I think that's the cool part about having that local flavor and flair at the tournaments.
yeah, perfect. I can't wait. When we're off air, I'm going to tell you the place I hang out is just down the street from Steiner, and
Okay.
it's where I go. It's a great bar. It's there's two of them. It's called Bar X and Beer Bar. They're attached to each other, and it's got plenty of room. They've always got hockey or soccer on, and it's just like it's a great vibe. It's where I go to hang out. So I'm gonna try to influence you to go there.
Okay.
There are a lot of great places. Contrary to what all the NBA players have said about Utah, we have a lot of great bars. We have a fun nightlife. It does end promptly at 1 a.m. for the most part. But
Okay.
at my age, I'm fine going home way before that. So
Yeah, for sure. I think
yeah,
that the one concern we always had, and I think a lot of people have with Utah, it was all obviously the Mormon stuff is there and the not being able to drink and that effect. And I know it's false, but I also know one part of why it took us so long to get into Utah is the rinks getting over the hump of doing business with a tournament called beer league,
yep,
right? And you have to explain to people like beer league is just a term of endearment. Like it's just a bunch of adult hockey players just playing hockey. It has and it came from after the games, you hang out, you have a beer or two. We don't have to. We're not a bunch of degenerate drunks, I don't think. And we're just here to have fun. And so I finally, got him talked into, hey, it's going to be okay. We've never been kicked out of a place and uninvited. So
very cool. Very cool. And I knew because I actually asked around a little bit and told people about it. And we don't, it's called men's league here. And that's what they
yeah,
call it, or adult hockey. It's everywhere else you go, you look up the website and it'll tell you when the beer league games are. And
yep.
honestly, I had to check with my boss because I'm actually, I work for a company that's owned by the church. So I always have to check and make sure I can mention even the word beer sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And I've had
Interesting.
Stanley Cup champions on. talking about the parties after, and I've had to edit out some of the stuff they talked about.
Oh,
So
that's a bummer.
yeah, it's a bummer, but it's we're growing. We're getting better at stuff, and we're understanding that life is life, and everybody wants to live it their own way.
Yeah.
And what you're doing sounds like a good time. I plan on being a part of it in some way. If somebody wants to, so if they want to register, they just jump on blpa.com.
Yeah, BLPA.com, and they can just up on one of the tabs. It's the draft experience. You just hit it. It'll show you all our cities. I mean, we're in Boston right now. I'm actually in Tampa Bay right now for a tournament this weekend. We have Omaha and Boston next weekend, and then we have a bunch of team tournaments after our Scandinavia trip. And then Utah's the first draft after April. So then we're at Pittsburgh. I mean, we're all over the place.
Nice. Can they see all the old jerseys on that site too? Do you have a
To see all the old jerseys, you might need to go check like our Instagram page at the BLPA and just check them out. And sometimes I'll just go if I'm sitting at a hotel and I'm bored, I'll just start tagging a bunch in our Facebook page and just say, hey, which one's your favorite? And we'll get obviously a bunch of responses. Maybe I might do that tonight just in honor of Utah. So
well, very cool, very cool. Okay, well, perfect. I think that's everything we wanted to talk about. I'm excited about the tournament. Uh, I love sharing hockey with people, and like
right
you were
on.
talking about, you weren't into hockey, and then now it's your life. You're addicted
Yep.
to it. I just took
Yep.
one of our guys from KSL, a former NFL player, took him on the ice for the first time in full goalie gear, and let him get shot at by the Utah Grizzlies, and and I knew he'd be sore after because being in a goalie stance for even 20 minutes is hard if
hmm
you've never done it. And he got off the ice. He said, I'm sore. And he took one off the dome and he's like, I can still taste that one a little bit. And he's like, but man, all I'm thinking about is when do I get to do this again?
Yep. Oh,
And
I
I
love
think
it. I
that's
love that.
hockey, right? That's
That,
hockey.
that is hockey.
All right, Nick. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to be on the show. We're gonna get this posted, and hopefully, we sell this thing out. And like I said, I don't want this to be an infomercial, but I want people to understand what's going on, and I want this to be like I'm excited about it. I'm truly excited about it. I've wanted to, especially I think you did one in Nashville, and I was looking at my
Mhm.
front. I have the Frontier Pass. I'm like, man, maybe I can make that Nashville one, but man, it just hasn't worked out for me. So I'm gonna make this one work. I'm gonna call Nick and tell him to move out of my goalie way. Nick
All right, buddy.
Lazar,
Well,
he's a good forward too. So
yeah. Well,
anyway,
I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on and just all you do. Like obviously, since I've been on the first time, I've kind of followed you and just spreading the love of hockey. And now you got the NHL there, which is huge for growing the sport anywhere to have a pro team there. So you guys are kicking there in Utah. So keep it up on the adult hockey side of things.
we will do. Thank you so much, Nick. And that is the
You
Utah
have
Puck Report.